Nobody talks about them. Nobody wants to reflect on their struggles.
Hi everyone, this is Silas Ram, AsianCultureVulture.com, and with the amazing Sarwat Gilani, who's in the film Joyland, which is in Cannes, in the Uncertain Regard section here. Sarwat is an amazing actress. She's been in lots of international web series such as Churails and Qatil Hasina Khanam, and many films in Pakistan. Sarwat, welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Joyland had a fantastic screening yesterday. How would you describe Joyland to someone who doesn't know anything about it?
I think it's about representing Pakistan and the issues that we see in the society, the patriarchalness of it, the transgender biasness of it, and a lot of issues that the women face in Pakistan, and it's very sensitively made. It holds its power to being a very honest script, and the narrative just takes you in, and that's the beauty of the film.
Indeed. Tell us a little bit about your character Nuchi and her kind of relationships within the family.
Right. So Nuchi is a wife, a daughter-in-law in this household, and before Mumtaz enters the family, she's the lady of the house. She also is, she's smart. She knows how to maneuver around her ways. She likes to understand that she keeps the facade going, where she has to be presenting the family in a certain way. And but at the same time, she has her moments of quickly taking a secret smoke break, or knowing how the sexuality of a man requires the women to be, a little more provocative in bed and stuff like that. So she has her moments of utter joy, very unbiased, very unmasked. But at the same time, she knows how to play the good daughter-in-law card.
Yeah. Do you think the women in Joyland are feminists?
I feel that they'd like to feel that they're feminist, but they are stopped by the society, by the norms of the family, and they are unable to speak it out loud, for sure.
So how did you come to be involved? Do you know Saim Sadiq, the director?
No, I happen to know the casting director, and she was with me on Churails. And Sana is a brilliant, very hardworking girl. And she could see me as Nuchi, so much so that she had to convince me, Saim, also. And Sarmad was already convinced, luckily, who was one of the producers. And when she brought me this script, I loved the story, but I wasn't too sure if I was okay to play Nuchi. The character is small, but the story was so powerful and it resonated with me, because I understand that the transgender community, nobody talks about them. Nobody wants to reflect on their struggles in our society. And this was a chance that we will get to be part of something which will definitely change, even if it was changing mindsets. Or something, even one thing in the mindset of the Pakistani audience, it was absolutely worth it.
How do you think it will go down in Pakistan? I mean, it's obviously got a good reaction internationally, obviously here in Cannes, brilliant, long-standing ovation. But in Pakistan, how do you think it will be received?
So, the Pakistani audience is very unpredictable. When we were doing Churails, which was a very women empowered subject, we thought we'll get a lot of thrashing and we'll probably have to hide out a little for some time. But it was very well received, in fact. So that's the beauty of the Pakistani people. They can really surprise you with their reaction. But Obviously, some bits would have to be cut out, as Saim says that we will have to sort of, for the censor board to approve of this film, because as it is on the subject of a trans and a married man falling in love together. The subject in itself is so tricky that we can't really push our boundaries, so we'll have to play it safe.
And how did it feel yesterday and to bring a film like this to Cannes and your own Cannes experience?
It was unbelievable. It was almost magical. It was unreal. It was like a dream come true. It really felt like for the first time on a platform like Cannes, our struggles as artists and as people back home are being acknowledged and being received with the kind of reception that we got. It was beautiful. I think it's going to be etched in our lives, in our hearts and minds forever, all of us, that whoever was standing there as part of the team.
How would you describe the Pakistani film scene? Are you getting a lot of scripts? Are you having to be very selective? Or what is the kind of...
So right now, Pakistani film industry is going through a revolution, and it's a transition that they're going through. There was a lot of amazing content that was being created as far as the cinema was concerned pre-COVID. COVID did a lot of harm, not just in Pakistan, but globally. And post-COVID, there have been films that have come out, but they're all commercial cinema. I love to watch it, but I don't see myself being part of it. Right. So I was really happy when a script like Joyland came to me, that it was just the kind of movie that I wanted to be part of. It was just the kind of script and narrative that I would want to accent on a global platform like Cannes and others. So I feel that it really does help the fact that all those people, all those young filmmakers in Pakistan who are contemplating to make a film which is on a smaller subject with smaller budgets, this is going to be a really big push for them. And that in itself is a big reward for us as Pakistani artists, that this is going to encourage a lot of independent cinema coming out of Pakistan, which was struggling and which was almost strangled. And I hope that Joyland and the way it was received and the kind of reception that it got does encourage them to go out and, do something that they've been dreaming of.
So you feel this will give it a push that it needs, especially post-COVID?
Absolutely, it will give it a very, very big push.
Can I just come back to Nucci, because I think she's an interesting character, and there's almost a conversation I want to have with you, with people who've watched the film. Obviously, I don't want to give away too much in this interview itself, but for me, she's quite a pivotal character, even though it's only in that last third I think we really become aware of her role, or her understanding seems to be on a slightly more mature level, if that's the correct way of saying it. But what does she know that the others don't, or is there part of her character where she's perceptive enough to know what is going on?
Yes, she does. She knows why the next door neighbor auntie keeps sending her father-in-law goodies. She knows the exact time when it started, when her husband has passed away. I think you can also, it would be safe to assume that she knows that there is something off about Haider, but she can't really point it, because Haider does play a pivotal role in her life, helping her out in the kitchen with the kids and everything. But she likes being politically correct. Because she is the lady of the house. So she's smart like that, like you said. I totally agree with you. She's mature enough to understand what to say when. So she's smart and she knows what to say to the father-in-law to get Mumtaz to go with her to Joyland and stuff like that. There are moments where you realize that she's smoking, but she knows she can't smoke in the house. But then she can't even deny her desires. Also, when there are moments where she's trying to tell Mumtaz to fit her clothes to look more sexy for her husband, so you do realize that she is also very sexually aware of how to be around husbands. So she's a smart one.
I think that's what's surprising about the film, in the sense that you get a little bit hooked about the transgender and all that, and yet underneath the perspective on female sexuality is very interesting. And was that something you noticed from the script very early on?
Yes, I think we had a very kinky scene that got cut out too. And that for me was like, wow, the women in the lower strata of the society also have those desires and also have that understanding that there needs to be satisfaction when it comes to a marriage or the physicality of a human being, or your own needs and desires. Yes, and I love the fact, what I loved about each character, they're so human. They all are trying to hold on to something that they can call their own. Heather is trying to hold on to this love that he unconditionally finds towards Bibi. Mumtaz is trying to hold on to her job so she can feel like there is some sort of independence in that very congested household of a mindset. Nuchi is trying to hold on to the independence that she has, yet be a typical wife and daughter-in-law who's trying to have a son, but because she can't have a son, she's trying to hold on to something, whatever she can find. And so everybody, the neighborhood auntie is trying to hold on to the love that is not there in her life. There is no acceptance, there is no appreciation for her. The patriarchal father is trying to hold on to his dream of having a son, taking his lineage forward. So I think that is so amazing that every character had so many shades of gray, black and white, that it almost looks like a neighborhood family that I'm sitting and watching their life story. I'd also like to add here, just like a Michelangelo painting, you know how he would leave a spot for the viewer, Joe has been an unbelievable cinematographer, where he was not just capturing the moment, but I feel the camera was also a character, and that's what I felt he did. He frames the frames, he defocuses and focuses just at the right times. He captures those moments where you might have lost his. Most of the frames are here and then up, leaving the life that is around the character for you to see as an audience, for you to observe and not miss out. He almost makes sure that you do not miss out that life.
So can I, two final questions, very short. One, you look fabulous. Can you explain what the...
Yes.
And the second question is, any plans to come to the UK?
Oh, I love the UK. Let me answer that first, because I love UK so much. I feel, Pakistan is a very colonially set back in the history. So we have our tea times too, we have our morning walks too. And so a lot of us can relate to that kind of mindset and lifestyle. I love England. My sister lives there. I'd love to come and visit. Every time I do visit, I don't want to go back home. Although I'd like to take some of those gray clouds away and put a lot of more sun there. I am wearing Rizwan Beg, and he's one of our finest. He's been to Cannes. He's represented Pakistan on so many other global levels. I'm wearing Anaya jewelry, who is an Indian jewelry artist, and she is also, her store is in London. So maybe you can visit and get something for your family.
Thank you so much, Sarwat.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Asian Culture Vulture is here at Cannes 2022. Follow us on social media and check in on the website too for the latest Cannes updates.